Appears the total budget was slightly under $1 million.
That's correct.
Thank you, Judge. I have no more questions. I pass the witness.
All right, cross-examination by you, Mr. Smith.
Thank you. Sir, just real quick, for the board, what's episodic? What does that mean?
Episodic?
Yeah.
To me, it means occurring occasionally or regularly.
And that's what you saw in that first piece of paper, right?
Yes.
And your testimony here today really is that you located that piece of paper and you captured it as part of your experience and training as a crime scene analyst.
The detectives executing the search warrant located it and then had me come photograph it, and then I impounded it.
Okay, and just for the jury so they understand what your role is typically in a search warrant is that you're summoned to the scene to conduct your, an investigation or at least a search of an area based upon what the detective or primary officer tells you is the intent of the search, but you also do your own search as well, fair?
It depends on the type of call, how much direction that I'll be given, or I'll be doing it myself.
And with regard to this particular situation and this specific search, you were apprised prior to the search warrant being executed that this was going to happen on this particular day.
Yes.
And so the meeting that typically takes place where you arrive on a scene where a crime had just been committed, where everyone sort of gathers around, they have a conversation of what they're trying to look for. That meeting took place before the knock on the door and the execution of the search warrant.
Yes.
Now, in this regard, you understood that what you were going to do was walk in to look for certain things of evidentiary value, right?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury what things you were looking for of evidentiary value?
I didn't have a list of items that we were looking for. I just knew that I was there to document whatever was recovered.
And the document that we just saw here, that was something that you did not locate one of the detectives did in this case.
That's correct.
Now, do you recall who the primary detective was that was responsible for that search warrant?
Detective Mogg.
Cliff Mark.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Were there any other detectives on scene besides Cliff Mark?
There were several, but I don't remember their names.
Right. Now, with regards to what you do as a crime scene analyst, fair to say that you are operating under a search warrant.
Yes.
And a search warrant is a document that allows for law enforcement to go into someone's residence to look around.
That's correct.
And in this particular regard, though, as a crime scene analyst, you're not the one who actually applies for a search warrant, right?
I did not know.
That would be something that would go through, in this case, the primary detective for this particular search.
Yes.
And that would have been Detective Mark.
Yes.
Now, in regards to what you were doing in this case, you searched what parts of the house, if you can recall?
I photographed the entire house. I did not search. Again, I was there to document what the detectives found in their search.
Okay, and in your training and experience, do you have a Now, sir, your work on this case, when you say you photographed the house, that was prior to the search of each particular room and area, right?
It was after the officers had cleared the residence, and then I came in and I took all my photographs. And then the detectives executed the search warrant and they searched, and then I did follow-up photographs based on what they found.
You did follow-up photographs.
Yes.
Now, and once again, for the jury, since we weren't there, the photographs you take at the beginning is each room as you find it.
Yes.
And then the photographs that are taken after the search is each room as you find it as well.
I didn't photograph the entire house again. I photographed the items that the detectives located, wanted me to photograph, and then some items I impounded and some items I did not.
And in terms of your photography, Was there another crime scene analyst that arrived on scene that took additional pictures outside of the ones that you?
Yes.
You know who that was?
There were 3 members from Graveyard. It was King, Felabon, and she was Finn at the time, but she's West now.
Okay. And those are the crime scene analysts that would have taken pictures of how each would look like after the search.
I'm not sure what they did.
Did you take any photographs of any bins of photographs found at the scene?
I don't recall taking photographs of the contents of bins.
Let me just show you here, Your Honor, Mayor Coach.
You may.
Your Honor, just for the record, it's already been admitted as evidence. This is State's Exhibit. State's Exhibit number 100. I could just publish that for the jury.
You may.
I'm sorry, we're going to start with 99 first. So this is State's Exhibit number 99. Do you recall taking this particular photograph?
No, I did not.
Okay, that would have been another crime scene analyst.
Probably.
All right. And then I'm not going to show you the next one. I'm assuming it's the same thing. Outside of the photographs that you mentioned here, what else did you do in the course and scope of your duties as a crime scene analyst on this particular night?
That was it. I photographed the scene. I took notes. I recovered the one item, which was the 3 pieces of paper. And that was it.
All right, thank you. I have no further questions of the witness.
Okay. Any redirect, Mr. DiGiacomo?
Not from the state.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, any questions for this witness? Okay. All right, Mr. Scott, a question from one of our jurors. What piece of evidence were you expecting to find in a location that was different from 30 years ago? Why would you expect it to be intact 30 years later?
Could you repeat that?
I can. What piece of evidence were you expecting to find in a location that was different from 30 years ago? Why would you expect it to be intact 30 years later?
I'm sure I fully understand the question. I wasn't expecting to find anything. I was just there to respond and document and photograph what the detectives were interested in.
Okay.
And I don't really understand the second part of the question.
Mr. DiGiacomo, any follow-up?
No.
Mr. Samt, any follow-up?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Scott. You are free to go. State, who's your next witness?
Stevie Fellow.
Stephen.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this section shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You may be seated. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
First name is Stevie, S-T-E-A-V-I-E. Last name is Felabom, F-E-L-A-B-O-M.
Ma'am, how are you employed?
As a senior crime scene analyst for Lover MPD.
We just heard from Judge Scott. Do you have similar qualifications and backgrounds as Mr. Scott?
Yes, sir.
Were you the relief crime scene analyst that responded to 2204 Maple Shade Street in Henderson.
Yes, sir.
And did you document with your own photographs, but also reviewed all of the photographs taken at that crime scene prior to your testimony here today?
Yes.
I'm going to go through some of those photographs here and start with 93. What are we looking at? Oop. You guessed it. So, not that you'll need it for this one, but that mouse up there can allow you to point. It just don't click it, okay? What is this?
That's going to be the exterior of the residence.
I guess we should go, I'll do 95 first. 95. What does this appear to be?
The northeast master bedroom.
94 is a shot from the opposite direction.
Yes.
Sitting on top of that case over here, there appears to be a container for a bottle of Dom Perignon.
Yes.
96. What are we looking at?
That's going to be the dresser on the opposite side of the same bedroom.
And at the bottom here,
There were several books pulled out when I arrived.
one of them is Compton Street Legend, one of them is Murder Rap, the last one is The Confused Mind of a Drug Dealer. Is that a yes?
Yes.
In addition, 097, was there a Vibe magazine?
Yes.
Did you wind up collecting the Compton Street Legend and the Vibe magazine?
Yes, sir.
Now in the garage, 098, there were 2 bins.
Yes.
And when those bins were opened, 100, I bet you this is 99 first. Try 99. Looked like a number of personal effects that were kept from those.
Yes, sir.
And number 100. Bottom one also had a bunch of personal effects.
Yes.
Do you know what happened to those 2 containers at the scene?
The detectives recovered them.
So detectives took those 2 bins and left the scene.
Correct.
To exhibit number 101. What are we looking at here?
That was a jacket in one of the closets.
And on the left, well, I guess we'll zoom in just a little bit. On the left side, it looks like it says Reg 64 trays, and on the right side it says Key TV.
Yes.
And if we skip to 103, the back of it is Southside City of Compton.
Yes.
After you collect an item, do you photograph it either at the scene or back at the lab?
Yes.
Showing you 104. What are you looking at?
That's the photograph that I took of the Compton Street Legend book once I recovered it and taken it back to the lab.
And then 105.
It's the back of the same book.
106.
That's the copy of the Vibe magazine after I recovered it and taken it back to work.
And 107.
It's the date and barcode on the cover.
So it looks like the November 96 edition of the Vibe magazine.
Correct.
Oh, ma'am. Previously opened off these, but let me show you. State's proposed exhibit number 148. Is that your evidence package from that night?
Yes.
And among what else you recovered, would you expect to find both the book and the Vibe magazine inside there had it still been sealed?
Yes.
So let me start first with the Vibe magazine. This is State's proposed exhibit number 140. And which is, you recognize the bag on the outside?
Yes.
And what is that?
That's the identifying information that we put on interior packages to include the event number, my P number and initials, the date that it was recovered, and the item number.
And I'm going to show you now 140A. What is that?
That looks like the Vibe magazine that I recovered.
That's the actual Vibe magazine that you end up recovering out of that house.
If it came from that package, yes.
Move to admit 140A.
Any objection?
Okay.
So admitted.
I'm going to show you the outside of this. This is, 139. You recognize that?
Yes, same identifying information, listing it as my item numbers.
Pull that item out, what would you expect to find?
The Compton Street legend.
Showing it to you. 139A. Does that appear to be the book?
Yes.
And I want to show you, you took pictures of the front and the back. The back has no picture on it, right?
No photograph on it.
Okay, it just has some words.
Yes.
And then if you flip through this entire book, there's no interior pictures in this book. Does that seem accurate?
Yes, sir.
Because I moved in 148, correct?
Any objection?
Oh, I think I did move.
They already moved in. Okay, thank you.
I think the rest of this, we agree we're not going to move
Understood.
I would pass this.
You may cross.
I have no objection. All of them? Yeah.
Miss Philippa,
Yes, sir.
how long have you been a crime scene analyst?
It's about 9 years.
And during that time period, these kinds of searches would be standard operating procedure for you.
Consistent with the detectives, yes.
Yeah. And once again, with regard to your training and experience, when you are conducting this kind of investigation, you're looking for things of evidentiary value, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, the evidentiary value part, though, is dependent upon what you learn at the scene from the primary officer or the detective that's conducting the search. And so whatever you're doing is within the parameters that they're asking for.
Yes.
Now, in this case, we've seen some pictures of some books and a jacket. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And when you arrived on scene, you were on scene for the later half or the latter half of the search.
Yes.
You weren't there for the beginning part of the search.
Yes, sir.
So the photographs you took are photographs that were of the areas and the rooms in the house after the search had been conducted. Fair to say, of course, is that each room was in disarray.
The search had already been started, yes, sir.
Yeah, and you don't know what they look like prior to you arriving on scene, but definitely after, there's things strewn around.
Yes, sir.
in your 9 years of experience as a crime scene analyst, when officers are conducting a search, they typically will be as thorough as they can be to look through everything in an area. Do they ever return those things back to how they found it before they entered into say, the room or the house?
I would say it depends on the level to which they've moved everything. The entire closet's been empty. They don't typically put everything back.
They do not typically put everything back.
Not typically, no, sir.
So you don't have any photographs that you took after everything was over where the room was put back in place how these police officers found it?
I have photos immediately before we left the residence after they'd finished searching, but not with everything placed as officers found it.
I see. And so what you were documenting basically was, for lack of a better word, the thoroughness of each police officer's search of each room.
The state that we left it in when we were clearing, yes.
Okay. Now, some of the things that we were shown in this case, did you ever at any point find electronics or were asked to take pictures of electronics at the residence?
I believe the only electronic item I photoed was a laptop in the shed. All of the others were photoed by CSA.
But as far as you know and what you recall, there were electronics found at the house, like say, I don't know, iPads, laptops, that kind of thing.
Laptops, definitely. I'm not sure what other types.
But you're not the crime scene analyst that would have captured that and put that into evidence?
I didn't recover the laptop itself. So.
And as far as you know, do you know how many electronics were in the house when you were there?
I don't.
Do you know whose responsibility that would have been?
Whoever was in charge of the search warrant, they had it listed on the return.
Okay. And just for the jury's edification, a return is a document that's left at the house or the area to notify the owner that certain items were taken as a result of the search.
Yes, sir.
So it's almost like a receipt.
Yes.
And your job really stops with regards to the actual search itself. You don't do anything further when you go back to your office with Metro or anything like that.
Aside from impounding whatever I was over, no, sir.
Okay. And just for our edification, when something's impounded, the concern, of course, is to maintain what's called chain of custody, right? Meaning that if you find something on scene, you want to make sure that that piece of evidence is exactly how it was as you found it at the scene and not molested or changed or anything like that. Correct. So sometimes, like in other investigations, you might have gloves on to protect you from transferring DNA or fingerprints onto the actual item of interest.
I'm usually always wearing gloves, but yes, different DNA considerations. Depending
So
on
when you're telling us that you went back to make sure that certain items were impounded, items that you had taken and put it into an evidence baggie,
yes, sir.
you took that to the evidence vault.
I would have sealed it, and then we have a temporary hold that's locked, so I would have sealed it with all the identifying information and then placed it in that hold, and an evidence technician would have continued the chain of custody.
And in terms of sealing it, you have a certain tape, color of tape that you would put on the opening of the packaging to indicate that it's been sealed by you.
Yes, sir. Ours is red, and then I sign that with my initials and the date that I'm sealing it.
I see. And then do you put your initials on the actual tape itself or somewhere on the tape side of the...
Across the tape and the package, so if it's moved, it's evident.
Okay. Now, at some point in the future, if someone comes along, they can go into that evidence vault and remove your package out, right?
If they check it out, yes, sir.
And if they were to open it, they would have to open it from some other side of the packaging.
Typically, yes.
And then when they seal it to return it back to the evidence vault, they would actually put a different type of tape on it to indicate it came from somewhere else.
I've seen red and blue used, so depending on the circumstance, yes.
Now, the bins of photographs that we see in the pictures, and I think this is State's Exhibit number 199. Sorry.
Yeah.
Showing you what's been marked in already as State's Exhibit number 100. This is one of the photographs you took.
Yes.
Did you rifle through or look through those photographs to see what was in them?
I did not.
That would have been somebody else's responsibility.
Yes, sir.
You're just there to take a picture of what was in it. Now, showing you what's been marked and admitted as State's Exhibit number 99. Is this the other bin that was in the garage that you took a picture of?
Yes.
Okay. And once again, these are bins that you are directed to by detectives to take pictures of. Showing you what's been marked and admitted as State's Exhibit number 98. Do you see over here on the top right, these are the two bins over here that we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Do you see this bin over here?
Yes.
Did you ever take a picture of what was inside that bin?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So the what we have in terms of evidence in this case would have been the State's Exhibit number 99 and 100, but not Exhibit number 98.
I'm sorry, what's your question, sir?
Meaning that we have the open bins for, this would be 99 and 100, but not for this particular bin over here.
As far as items recovered, yes.
Okay. Now, I'm showing you, if I may, Your Honor,
You may.
showing you what's been marked as proposed defense exhibits F through W, UU. You can just look through those photographs with me. Just come back.
Judge, I told Mr. Kent I'd stick with F through.
Okay. Do you want me to have them in the difference?
She might not still review it.
Okay.
I believe these are a mixture of both mine and CSA Scott's photos
Okay.
from inside the residence, but they're consistent.
All right. And just with regard to the record, this has been admitted by stipulation between the state and the defense, and that would be Defense Exhibit F through Defense Exhibit UU.
They will now be admitted.
It will now be admitted?
Yeah.
Thank you, Honor. All right, and just for our application, showing you just for a couple photographs here, this would be Defense Exhibit G. Here you can see it coming up. This would have been a photograph taken after the search of the house.
I believe so, yes.
Defense Exhibit I, as in Isaac, is that another photograph taken after the search of the house?
If there's some, yes.
This is Defense Exhibit J, another photograph taken. Along with that, this is Defense Exhibit K, another photograph.
Yes, sir.
Defense Exhibit L,
Yes.
Defense Exhibit M.
Yes.
Your Honor, I have no further questions. Thank you very much.
Okay. Anything further by the state?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, of the jury, any questions for this witness? Seeing no hands, Ms. Feldbaum, you're free to go. Thank you so much for being with us today. Say, who's your next witness?
Justine Gaddis.
All right. Before this witness testifies, you may hear testimony regarding drug trafficking, conspiracy, prior federal conviction, and gang affiliation. None of this is offered to show propensity to commit a crime, and you may not consider it for that purpose or any other purpose. It is only offered to establish credibility of statements made by defendant and motive and identity. All right, come on up.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this section shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
You may be seated.
Thank you.
May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Justine, Justine, Gaddis, Gatus.
Thank you. You may proceed, Mr. John.
And how are you employed?
I'm a homicide detective with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department.
How long have you been with Metro?
Coming up on 20 years. I've been in homicide for over 8.
Can you describe how homicide is set up at the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department?
So we have 4 teams that work active calls. Each team has 6 detectives, and each of those 6, basically we kind of rotate all throughout the entire day of detectives for who gets the next call in order as it just kind of comes down the line.
Back in 2023, were you assigned to a particular squad?
Yes, I was.
Who was your sergeant?
Back then it was Igor DeCaro.
Is he still your sergeant today?
Yes, he is.
And on your squad, was there a person by the name of Cliff Long?
Yes, sir.
At some point, did you become aware that he was investigating the Tupac Shakur homicide?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to direct your attention to July of 2023. Were you present during the execution of the search warrant at the residence?
Yes, I was.
And while you were present for that search warrant, were there 2 bins located? I'm going to put up Stacy 798. Were there 2 bins located?
Yes, sir.
What happened to those 2 bins?
Those bins were collected and transported to Metro headquarters and ultimately impounded. The bins themselves were ultimately released back.
At Metro headquarters, those bins were searched,
Yes.
certain items were removed,
Yes.
and then those bins were returned.
Correct.
And then, who impounded the items that were taken out of that bin?
Detective Mogg.
When did Detective Mogg officially retire from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department?
I want to say it was August. I know it was August of 23, but I think maybe August 12th of 2023.
And sometime after August 12th of 23, in September of 23, did you become aware that this case was indicted by the Clark County Grand Jury?
Yes, sir.
Were you and Sergeant DeCaro assigned a role to assist now investigator Mogg if he needed a peace officer?
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to go through just some of those things. But on April 23rd of 2026, did you go to the evidence hall?
Yes, I did.
Who was with you at the evidence hall?
You and Mr. Banu, Igor DeCaro, Mike Stamp, his investigator, Aaron Stanton, and I'm sorry, I don't know your name, his female assistant partner.
Maggie?
Yes.
Was Cliff Mogg there too?
Yes, he was.
And what was the purpose of us all going down to the vault?
To review the evidence that has been impounded for this case.
And were you the peace officer, you and Mr. DeCaro, the peace officers, or Sergeant DeCaro, sorry, the peace officers that were present for purposes of touching the evidence, opening the evidence, and reviewing the evidence with the defense and the state?
Yep, and then I resealed the evidence. That's correct.
Show you what's been marked as state's proposed exhibit number 132. Is that the original impound from Detective Mogg that we wound up opening and going through everything in?
Yes, sir.
showing you state's proposed exhibit number 135. Was that an item that was in this impound package?
Yes, sir.
Move to admit 135.
Any objection?
No objection.
So admitted.
Showing you what's been marked as state's proposed exhibit 136. Is that an item that was in there?
Yes, sir.
Now, state's proposed 134 is a package proposed. Just want you to look through there. We're 134A, B, C, and D, all within that package.
Yes, sir.
Move to admit, I guess I should do 134 and A through D so we have the package to keep them in.
Any objection?
No objection.
That'll be 134A, B, C, and D.
And one of those items, 134D, is a magazine about Biggie Smalls.
Correct.
There were some miscellaneous items collected, but I think we are all putting in 133, but I don't have a cover for 133. Madam Clerk, is there a cover for 133, or do we just put it separate? The back. Perfect. Something to keep it in. 133, I think, is technically the bag, but there's a Lakers ticket that's marked.
Yes.
That was in there?
Yes, sir.
133A, E, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, and L were all within this package.
Yes, sir.
Move to admit 133 and 133A through L.
Any objection?
No objection.
So admitted.
And then lastly, was there this
Photo book, yeah.
photo book 137,
Yes.
and then were there a number of items that were inside this photo book?
Yes, sir.
And the clerk and the defense and I have had these marked as 137A through, I think the last one is U. We'll briefly flip through those. Is 136 in it? I believe I offered.
It is not.
I think your analysis was in there.
Yes, sir.
Move to admit 136.
Any objection?
No objection.
So admitted.
All of those were within this call it scrapbook, for lack of a better term.
Yes, sir.
So I want to go through some of these items and put it on the overhead. Ooh, that's bad. This item 136.
Yes, Mike.
Actually, I think we should put it up here because otherwise it's just going to slide. 136 is actually what appears to be, well, it says an affidavit and a search warrant.
Correct.
from the Compton PD.
Yes, sir.
And it appears that it's dated May 27th of 1997.
Correct.
It appears that it's at 1524 South California Ave in Compton.
Yes, sir.
And on the back, there is a handwritten return.
Yes, sir.
One of the items that was recovered, it says number 4, money due bill for the Monte Carlo Casino.
Yes, sir.
Let's go through the items that were in the scrapbook, and then I just messed up their entire order, so I guess it doesn't matter which order. Let's just show some of the newspaper articles. So, State's Exhibit number 137H.
I'm sorry. You said 137?
137H. Did we?
I don't have that listed as we
Didn't I offer everything 137 and 137A through you?
Yes.
It'll be admitted at this time.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect, by stipulation.
This appears to be an article about Mr. Shakur's death.
Yes, sir.
G. Another one about the death of Mr. Shakur, and this one's actually dated September 19th of 96.
Yes, sir.
U. This is another article that was found in there talking about Mr. Knight being kept in jail.
Yes, sir.
.137 appears to be a newspaper article about a bad rap for new artists.
That's correct.
.137B, an article about Mr. Shakur being in a fight with the MGM.
Yes, sir.
.137C, an article about a death row exec didn't leave, and this is from September 14th of 1996.
Yes, sir.
This one. This is 137E. I want to peel it back, but I guess we can peel that back. It appears to be the community mourns, and there's a picture of his death is going to send a strong message to the rap community. It looks like an article about death in the rap industry.
Yes, sir.
And if we, I don't know if I can see this. It appears to be discussing the death of Tupac Shakur. 137E, star rapper Tupac Shakur badly wounded is a newspaper article.
That's correct.
Are you aware that Tupac Shakur died on September 13th?
Yes, sir.
So this appears to be prior to September 13th.
Yes, sir.
On 137F. Back out just a little bit. There's an article about police raids targeting or sparked by Tupac Shakur's death.
Yes.
And this one actually has a handwritten date that says 9/3 of 96.
10-3.
Oh, sorry, 10/3 of 96.
Yes, sir.
I. 137I. You can probably read it down. This one is rappers and Muslims gather for peace, and it's this dated September 23rd of 1996.
That's correct.
One 137J. Here's me an article titled "Night" related to Suge Knight.
Yes, sir.
Hold up to see the whole thing. 137K. It's an article entitled 22 Held in Shootings Possible Shakur Payback.
Yes, sir.
As well as another piece of an article, Complex Life Comes to an End.
That's correct.
And it looks like it discusses the death of Mr. Shakur on the back.
Yes, sir.
On 137L. This appears to be an article about the death of Biggie Smalls.
Yes, sir.
On 37A, or sorry, 37M. This one says,
Yes, sir.
"137N. There's an article about gangster rap performer Notorious B.I.G. being sung.
Yes, sir.
"137O. An article about gang ties suspected in killings.
Yes, sir.
"137P. an article from September 16th, 1996, obviously related to Tupac.
Yes, sir.
Q. This is about a rap lawyer's contending detective lie.
Yes, sir.
And it starts off with, they seek dismissal of judge's ruling in probation case saying Las Vegas investigator committed perjury about Marion Suge Knight's alleged role in the assault before Tupac Shakur slain.
Yes, sir.
R. This appears to be sort of a combination of both Biggie and Tupac's murder, but bullet riddled rap is how it's titled.
That's correct.
And then it says, the rivalry escalating despite so-called truce.
That's correct.
Just a couple more, detective. Brooks and Trayvon Lane came a little later.
Trayvon Brooks, I'll take judicial notice of that.
Bergie Brooks.
Sorry, Trayvon Lane, I'll take
Okay, Trayvon
judicial
Lane.
notice of that. And, all right, Virgie Brooks.
And then recently Malcolm Greenwich.
Recently, Malcolm Greenidge. Michael Payne.
What?
Michael Payne.
Malcolm Payne was a transporter.
Okay. Malcolm Greenidge. All right. I'll take judicial notice of that.
Of all six.
Yes. So,
Did you become aware that certain of those 6 individuals weren't cooperating, even though they had been served papers by California?
Yes, sir.
And so did you coordinate with anyone to assist California authorities in locating these individuals?
I did.
Oh, and let me back up. There was also someone in New York that there's a compelling order for, correct?
I'm not sure if the order was served or issued, but yes, I know the individual in New York.
Did you locate someone by the name of Anthony Gomez in New York?
Yes, sir.
And he is currently on probation.
Correct.
And there's an effort to locate what jurisdiction he was in order to get a compelling order.
Yes, sir.
All right. What did you do with the people who weren't cooperative despite the California authorities ordering them to come to Nevada?
We went up on their phones, which means we received orders to where we can ping their phone location to try to identify where they were specifically at.
And for those people, well, how many pens do you think you did?
I think about 5.
And do you remember which 5 you had to do pens on?
Corey Edwards, Virgie Brooks, Roger Williams,
Was there Malcolm Greenwich on
yes, Malcolm was, yes. And I can't remember the last one. I know we've already spoke about him, though.
there? Oh, no. How about Devontae Lee? Did you have to get one?
Yes,
Now, Devontae Lee was local, so we didn't need a compelling order.
correct.
Last Friday, did you coordinate with our local authorities as well as authorities in California in order to effectuate an arrest warrant in California for anyone?
Yes,
And who did you try to effectuate an arrest warrant on?
Corey Edwards.
And was he located at his residence?
No,
Was there any other person associated with Corey that was missing from his residence?
yes, there was.
And who is that?
His mother.
And is your understanding that she is 95 years old and an invalid?
She's in poor health, yes.
On Monday, was there an effort at another location in Compton to effectuate an arrest warrant for Mr. Edwards?
Yes, there was.
And was that successful?
No, sir.
Thank you, Detective. I'll pass the witness.
Thank you.
all right, cross-examination, Mr. Stamps.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing, Detective Gaddis?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, thank you. Thank you for appearing here today.
Yes, sir.
Now, your testimony is based on your work with Clifford Mogg from 2023 on.
Well, I've worked with retired Detective Mogg since 2018.
Okay, so in 2018 to 2023, what did you do in furtherance of this case?
I personally did not do a extensive amount of anything. This primarily was being investigated by Detective Mogg.
Right. And so from 2018 to 2023, you didn't do anything of real note. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, as a detective with Metro, obviously you have to qualify to become a detective in the homicide division of Metro.
We have a testing process.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where just because I asked to be on the homicide team doesn't mean I'm going to get on the homicide team unless I demonstrate qualifications to get there.
More or less, yes.
Yeah. Now, in terms of your training experience, though, fair to say it starts in the police academy as you're getting ready as a cadet before you become a full-fledged officer.
It's a police recruit, but yes.
Okay. And while you're in the academy, you learn skills that will help you become a successful police officer in our community. One of those things that you learn, of course, is how to write reports.
Yes, sir.
Officers' reports are a crucial tool that you would use in furtherance of your job as a police officer in Las Vegas.
Yes, sir.
With regards to police officers' reports, sometimes you don't have to write a report. I would assume, like, for instance, if you pull someone for a traffic ticket and on the citation, you could write some notes or something along those lines. That wouldn't require you to do a police report
That's correct.
or officer's report.
Yes.
All right, but in terms of when you're conducting an investigation, fair to say that typically a officer's report would be written?
Typically, yes.
Yes. Now, can you explain to the jury why an officer's report would be important in the furtherance of an investigation?
The officer's report primarily is for our own reflection to recall really all the steps that we took throughout the entirety of an investigation. So it's a document that we can refer back to without going to each and every document specifically.
Now, fair to say, though, that the officer's report also helps in the event that, say, for instance, you get promoted to become a sergeant and someone else takes over your caseload because you're no longer the detective, right?
Yes, sir.
They would look at that officer's report to help them get up to speed as to what your investigation was at the time you get promoted to become a sergeant.
Correct.
Or lieutenant.
Yeah.
Or captain.
I'll never see that, but yes.
I'm just hopeful.
Yeah.
Let's be hopeful. But with regards to your officer's report, for instance, when you are about ready to move on in the next phase of your career, for instance, those officer reports typically are prepared and completed upon your departure to whatever it is you're going to do next.
Most of the time, they try to get those done. Sometimes they're not.
Sure. Now, in terms of sometimes or not, can you tell us when is there an exception to the rule of when you do your officer's report after, say, for instance, when you retire?
Haven't retired yet. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But fair to say, of course, if that in the event of an actual complete departure from the department, meaning you move on in your life doing something else, that those officers' reports should be completed prior to you departing the department.
I know the department would like them completed, but again, sometimes they're just not.
Yeah.
I've seen many cases where there's still open officers' reports with people who are no longer on.
Sure. And so with regard to those open officers' reports, fair enough, you know, they get created at some point in the future. How about like 1 year after they retire?
I don't know. Are you asking like would they or could they?
Well, have you ever seen an officer's report being filed a year after an officer retires from the department?
Authored by the original investigator? No. A lot of times, like there'll be either one of the guys from Cold Case that will kind of pick up a case
Right.
and finish that up, and so then that will be completed after the originating officer retired.
Okay. Well, what about 2 years after the main officer or detective in this case retires? Have you seen anyone actually, you know, finish up his officer's report 2 years after he retires?
And submit it still as an officer? No.
3 years?
No.
And it's fair to say that there's common sense reasons for that, right? You want to make sure that your report is accurate, right?
Yes.
Because accuracy is important in what you do as a police officer.
Correct.
You want to make sure that your report is written in such a way, like you said before, someone could take that report and continue on with the investigation, who is still a detective.
Yes.
Okay. And also that report, in essence, becomes sort of a documentation of all the effort that that detective puts into the file, right?
Generally most of it, yes.
Yeah.
It might not have everything in it, but there's the vast majority typically goes in the officer's report.
Sure. Now, in this particular case, as you're sitting here right now, you work for the Metropolitan Police Department.
Yes, I do.
You work for the district attorney's office?
No, I didn't.
And the reason why you don't work for them is because they're two separate agencies, right?
They are.
They have two different purposes, correct?
Correct.
Your job as a police officer with Metro is to investigate and determine facts, fair?
Yes.
Now, at some point in the future, the district attorney's office, their job is to determine if they want to prosecute a case and actually litigate it like in front of this jury, right?
Yes. Yes.
That's not your role. Your role is just to find the facts
And present it to them,
and
yes.
present it to the district attorney's office.
Yes.
Okay. Now, they do have investigators that work for them,
Yes, sir.
right? But fair to say, those investigators are not doing what you're doing, right, which is looking for facts.
Well, I object to looking for facts. And one calls for speculation.
What's your response?
I'm just asking for her experience as a detective as to how investigators fit into the overall picture of what we're talking about here. I don't believe it's speculation.
Can you rephrase it? Because I
Sure.
forgot the original question.
So with regards to your role and the experience you've had as a police officer, have you ever seen a Clark County District Attorney investigator be the primary person to put on an investigation?
Like as the lead investigator, no.
Yes, that's correct. So no, the answer is no.
Correct. Not in my experience.
And not in your experience. Now, in terms of what you're doing here, your testimony here was specifically about the search warrant and what happened when you located, whatever it is you located during the course of the search warrant, right?
Yes, sir.
So in the search warrant itself, did you apply for that search warrant?
No, I did not.
Now, typically, as a detective, when you're applying for a search warrant, you fill out an affidavit,
Yes, sir.
and at the end, you sign it, attesting it to be true and correct to the best of your ability.
Yes, sir.
And you detail in that search or that application for a search warrant, the location and what you intend on finding as a result of going into somebody's house.
Yes.
Okay. That would be the purview of whoever the lead detective is at that particular time.
Yeah, or who was just writing the search warrant. There's a lot of times people write search warrants and they're not lead detectives, but yes, I agree with what you're saying for the most part.
And in this case, Detective Mogg was the responsible detective to petition for that search warrant.
Yes, he was.
And he was the one who signed that affidavit.
Yes, he was.
Now, you were on scene as a detective to help him with that, with the execution of the search warrant.
Correct.
And it isn't just you and Detective Mogg, there's other people from Metro that's present as well,
Yes, sir.
other detectives as well,
Yes, sir.
as well as the crime scene analysts that we have on scene.
Yes.
And they're all looking for information.
Correct.
Now, the information that you're looking for is based upon my client's residence, right, Mr. Davis' residence.
For that search warrant, yes.
And you are looking for evidence that would take you back 30 years to whether or not that person was involved in the murder of Tupac Shakur.
Yes.
Okay. So the information that we've received here today is the fruits of your labor from that search warrant.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, there were numerous different electronic devices that was taken from the scene.
Yes.
Now, are you aware that one of the intents or one of the focuses of the search was to look for evidence or facts specifically about the writing of a book?
Yes.
Okay, meaning the book that you had shown to the jury, that particular book, there was a search or at least an intent to look for evidence that would help support whether Mr. Davis had a manuscript.
I don't think I reviewed a book up here when I was being shown the evidence. I know the book that you're referring to.
Right, and I'm just showing you, once again, if I could have
Show my version.
I have it. Good, I'm part of this. Showing you what's been marked and admitted as State's Exhibit 104, this document or this book right here.
Yes.
Okay, so this book was the one of the focuses of the search.
Yes.
And in the application for the search warrant, fair to say that as a detective, you would read the parameters in which Mr. or Detective Mogg at the time had requested in terms of the purpose of the search.
He would have documented that in there, yes.
Yeah, and for instance, would a review of the application and affidavit of search warrant help refresh the recollection as to what Detective Mogg had requested from a court to allow him to search for?
I actually have not read the full document before.
Oh,
I can review it if you'd like. But yeah, I, up to this point, have not read the full document.
okay. So you're saying, though, that the person that could best tell this jury what he applied for would be Detective Mogg?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now, in addition to that, looking at the state's exhibit number 104, the name that's on top over here, did this name have any significance to you in participating in the search warrant in this case?
Yes.
What significance does this name have to you?
We knew that was Dwayne Davis's nickname or street name.
Is that correctly spelled?
I don't know.
Yeah, and then with regard to this person right here, do you know who this person was?
Yes, I do know.
Who is that person?
Yosef Yal.
Now, with regards to Yosef Yal, can you tell the jury a little bit about who he is?
He was the to my understanding, he's the co-author of the book.
Okay. Now, you had a chance at some point to speak with Mr. Yap.
Yes, sir.
And just for my recollection, do you recall when you spoke to him?
It was on about Memorial Day of this year.
So 2026?
Yes, sir.
Memorial Day. Do you recall when the grand jury occurred with regards to this case?
In 2023.
All right. And so explain a little bit to the jury what a grand jury is.
It's a jury that have been assimilated here at the Clark County Regional Justice Center. They hear cases, then they determine if there is sufficient cause to issue an indictment on the accused.
And typically that would be something, if you were the primary detective, you would have been involved in this particular one, but you were not. Right?
That's correct.
Okay. That would be something that Detective Mogg would be responsible for.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, with regards to Yusuf, we had read off a bunch of names the state had, and I want to make sure I'm clear here. Was his name read off as one of the names that they had issued some type of warrant or something for in this case?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay, so you interviewed Yusuf about May of this year. He's on the book cover, but you don't ask the court for a warrant for his arrest in California,
No, I did not.
or some type of notice in California, hey, you need to show up to court.
No, we did not.
Okay. And did you ever at any point go down after your meeting with Yusuf to knock on his door again and say, hey, Yusuf, can you please come to Nevada based upon our interview or discussion?
No, I did not.
Now, in addition to that, when you went down to speak to Yusuf, at that particular time, you're with Clifford Mogg, right?
That's correct.
Now, at that particular point, Clifford Mogg is not a detective at Metro.
Correct.
He had been retired at that point how many years?
2.5, maybe?
Okay. And so you accompanied him down to California to do that interview with Yusuf?
With several people, yes.
Okay. But you're going down as a police officer with the Metropolitan Police Department at that particular point?
Yes.
But not Clifford Mogg. He's not a police officer at that point.
Correct, he was not.
He is an investigator with the Clark County District Attorney's Office.
Yes, sir.
Now, based upon that particular interview, did you conduct that interview?
No, primarily Detective Mogg did, or Investigator Mogg did.
Sure. And after that interview, did you draft an officer's report documenting what you learned in the course of that interview?
No, I did not.
That would be something that Detective Mogg or Mr. Mogg would have done?
Sometimes we don't write an officer's report just for like an interview synopsis. We'll typically get those transcribed.
Okay. Now, in this case, for instance, the officer's report are pretty important, right?
Yes.
And we talked a little bit about going to the evidence locker, and we were all present at the evidence locker, right?
Yes, sir.
It's my assistant, the guilty looking one over there with the glasses, myself, and my investigator as well as Mr. DiGiacomo, Mr. Renew, Clifford Mogg, and yourself.
And my sergeant, Igor DeCaro.
Yeah. Now, after that particular incident, you wrote an officer's report, right?
That one I did, yes.
Right. Once again, it's important to document what happens on a given event.
Correct.
Okay. Now, in this particular regard, did you at any point of your participation in this case and that submission of that report ever view a officer's report from Clifford Mogg?
No, I have not reviewed an officer's report from him.
Are you aware that Clifford Mogg began his responsibilities as the main detective on this case in either 2017 or 18?
To my understanding, yes, that's correct.
And he had been the investigator from that time period, and we'll just give him the benefit of the doubt, 2018 all the way up to 2023 when he retired.
Correct.
But as of right now, as you sit here, you've never read an officer's report from Detective Mogg in between that time period?
Pertaining to this investigation, no.
No. Now, in addition to that, there was some discussion about people. Was there ever a compelling order or a warrant issued for Suge Knight in this case?
Not to my knowledge, or if there was, I didn't have a role in that.
Right, and fair to say you know exactly where Suge Knight is today.
Yes,
He's actually in custody.
correct.
Okay. Did you ever at any point issue a compelling order or a warrant for Foxy Brown?
I did not.
Okay. You know who she is?
I don't.
Okay. That would have been something that maybe Mr. Mogg would know of.
Yes.
Okay. How about for an individual named Big Meech from Detroit?
I don't know who that is.
Once again,
I have not issued a, yes.
So
And the
that-
same answer that Detective Mogg would be, he would have more knowledge on that.
Now, the articles that we took a look at here that the jury was introduced to, do you know any reason, besides the fact that they were taken from my client's house, do you know who put those articles together?
I do not.
Do you know the purpose of those articles?
I do not.
Okay. Now, fair to say, in the course and scope of your investigation as a detective now, one of the things that you would look for if you were looking at a suspect would be through their phone. Right?
And in today's age, yes.
Yeah. And one of the things you look for either on their phone or on their computers would be maybe search history.
Yes.
And what you're looking for is if a person is Googling an address and Googling up a shooting that took place on the corner of Charleston and, I don't know, Wallaby, and they're doing it over and over again, that would lend some issue as to why you're looking up the details of a shooting that, say, nobody knows, right?
Yes.
And that would help you determine whether that person has knowledge of a shooting that pretty much nobody else would know.
I can't say nobody else would know, but they would show that they do have knowledge of the incident occurring.
Right. Now, in terms of those articles, though, can you say that that's what that was for?
I cannot.
Now, in addition to that, in your experience, we had spoken a little bit about this folder here. I'm going to show you again for the jury. This is State's Exhibit 37. Oh, I'm sorry. 137. Do you remember this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I just want to make sure I'm not colorblind, but is this blue?
No, sir.
Yeah. There looks like there might be like a candy cane on top of it,
That's correct.
and something else that's there. It looks like a little snowman or something like that. Do you know what the purpose of this folder was?
No, other than it being just like a scrapbook type.
But nothing else besides that?
I don't know any other relevance to that.
Okay, and just for the record, it's got green in here as well. It looks like a pretty festive notebook or
Yes.
folder.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in your one of the things that you had shared with us as well is the search warrant in this case that was found on scene. This would have been this would be State's Exhibit 136. You recall looking at this particular document here?
Yes, I do.
In terms of this document, this is a document that Looks like this occurred back in May of 1997.
Correct.
And this obviously was in a different state. This is California.
Yes, sir.
And this was a search warrant of what looks like to be a house that would have been attributed to my client.
I'm not sure who it is, who resided there then. I know the address is there, the California.
Yeah, it would be at the California address that's on the next page, right? I just don't want to push it again. But let's turn to the last page here. One of the things that was made mention by the state, and just pointing the jury to the receipt of property taken, that's like our property return
Yes.
or search warrant return. Okay.
That's correct.
And in it, it identifies various different things that was taken from that particular residence.
Yes, sir.
Now, one of the things that's in here, for instance, is this line number 4, money due bill for the Monte Carlo Casino. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have that?
No, I do not.
Was there any copy of that in the house that you searched in 2023?
Not that we found.
And with regards to that particular description there, can you tell us, for instance, just by the description alone, when that money due bill was dated?
I don't know from that description. We just know when the search warrant was issued, so I would assume previous to that
Right.
issue date.
Right, but we don't know an exact date.
Correct.
And the other things that are on here, for instance, the 9 miscellaneous photographs, all these things are things that another detective wrote down in the course and scope of their investigation.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, when you were in Mr. Davis's home, you had identified, or there were various different electronic devices that were seized.
Yes.
Okay. Now, with regard to those electronic devices, there were quite a few.
Yes.
Those electronic devices, and I just want to make sure I'm clear here, you had taken a Dell Inspiron 1764 laptop computer.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever at any point cause that computer to be reviewed for information that would help you lead to whether or not Mr. Davis wrote that book or helped write that book?
I did not.
Okay. And just for the jury's edification, let's make sure we're clear. When you're reviewing an electronic device like that, you are looking for files, search history, things that would help you see whether or not Mr. Davis used that particular machine to help write the book, for instance, in this case.
In theory, yes, somebody would do that.
Right. And you also took from the residence a Toshiba laptop computer.
Yes.
Did you find any information that would help you know or learn whether or not Mr. Davis actually wrote Compton Street Legend or anything like that?
I did not write a search warrant to get into the digital items, so I've never reviewed anything from the electronics.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I'm clear. That would have been Clifford Mog's job, not your job.
Yes.
Because at the time, he was the detective responsible for this investigation.
Correct.
Now, but I just want to make sure we're clear for the jury. The other items that were seized at that point that you were at least part of the seizure would have been a Toshiba satellite laptop computer. So that's 3 computers. Another laptop computer, HP G171 laptop computer, an HP touchscreen desktop computer, an iPad, another iPad, and a Sky device tablet. Those were the things that were taken from the residence, right?
That sounds accurate, yes.
And just stop me if you think I'm wrong, if you need to look at something, all right?
Okay.
In addition to that, it looks like there was some drives that were taken as well, a Toshiba external drive, a USB drive, and an iPad with a broken screen, and an iPhone in a black case.
Yes.
Okay. And those were all the fruits of your search of Mr. Davis's residence when you went there.
Yes, sir.
And once again, whatever was found inside of those objects would be something that would be Detective Mog's responsibility to tell this jury, not you.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Mrs. Detective Gaddis, I'm done with my cross-examination of you.
Okay.
I appreciate your answers today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you, Mr. Samp. Mr. Giacomo, read draft.
Detective Gaddis, Mr. Sam said we're two separate agencies. That's accurate, correct?
Yes, sir.
How often, let me ask you this, do you work very closely with the DA's office?
Yes, sir, we do.
What is the soonest you've called the DA after you've shown up to a crime scene?
Oh, within an hour, absolutely.
And are we, as the prosecutors, involved in the investigation from the beginning?
Yes, sir.
Or were you aware that prior to the search warrant, or are you aware if prior to the search warrant, Mr. Palal and I were already involved in this investigation?
Yes, you were.
And were you aware the determination or the decision that was made as it relates to Mr. Mogg, Detective Mogg, remaining the investigator on this case?
I don't know how those decisions were made.
Let me ask it this way. Are you aware that that decision was made the day he retires?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And your role and Sergeant DeCaro's role is if we needed a Metro police officer, you were supposed to assist.
Correct.
And do you have any active cases where the reports are not done?
Yes, sir.
And usually the report is done when all of the work is done.
Correct.
And so that's completed when you're done investigating.
Correct.
Mr. Samft also mentioned something about the fact that your job is to find the facts. Do you remember him saying something like that?
Yes.
Is your job and our job any different than that we're here to uncover facts?
We have the same mission. Do it in different ways, but yes, the same mission.
And are you aware that my investigators oftentimes interview witnesses?
Yes.
And that's not something that's unusual.
No.
Is there anything that you feel was improper with the idea of Detective Mogg becoming my contract investigator on this particular case?
Objection, Your Honor, is the opinion. I'm not quite clear what the relevance of that question is.
Well, his entire cross was, hey, this is really odd, this is really unusual, there's something wrong here by Detective Mogg becoming Mr. Mogg and continuing the investigation. So I'm asking her, in her experience, is there anything inappropriate about that?
I don't know how her experience is relevant.
He opened the door by asking her those questions.
Overruled.
I would say Detective Mogg would have been the best fit to do it because he had the most intelligence and knowledge of the investigation.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
Anything further, Mr. Samp?
Yes, Your Honor. Since we walked through this door, so with regards to Detective Mogg in this case, he was the best fit for this investigation?
He had the most knowledge of it, yes.
He had the most knowledge of it because he did not write an officer's report. Fair?
Objection assumes a fact, not an evidence.
Can you approach? All right, that's overruled. You may ask your question.
And I just forgot the question, so let me back it up real quick here. So you're telling us though that he was the best for the job?
Yes,
Okay. And that at the time of his retirement, 2023, he was the best for the job?
he had the most knowledge of it, yes.
Yes, and he had the most knowledge of it because he was the primary detective on the case?
For the preceding several years, yes.
Yes. And when he retired, he did not have an officer's report?
I don't know if he did or didn't.
Well, I'm just based upon your knowledge, you're saying you don't know?
Yeah, and I've never actually read it. I don't know if he did.
So you don't know if he had an officer's report?
Correct.
And you say he was the best for the case, even though technically there were other detectives on your unit that could have taken over that case?
There are additional detectives, absolutely, yes.
And are you saying that somehow Detective Mogg had something different compared to all the other detectives that could have taken over that case from the homicide division?
Well, I say that about Detective Mogg because he had those 4 or 5 years of experience already invested into the case. So for him to kind of finish it out and to see it through, to me that made the most sense, in my opinion.
But without capturing it, putting it down on an officer's report?
Well,
That you don't know
objection. She just answered like she doesn't know if there is one.
Let me ask you this
Sustain.
question. I'll withdraw the question. In terms of, as we sit here right now, there was a cold case unit, right?
Yes, we do. We have a
And
cold case.
The cold case unit would investigate crimes that occurred, like say, for instance, in this case, 30 years ago.
Yes, I do.
And they could have very easily taken this file as well, right?
So from my understanding, when Detective Mogg obtained this case, we did not have a cold case unit in our section at that time. That didn't come into play until maybe 2020 that we were able to fulfill a cold case detectives.
Okay. And so, in terms of the way you're describing it now, are you saying that Detective Mogg was operating a cold case?
No, he was on an active squad for the entirety of his time in the homicide section. But when he received this case from the preceding detectives, we didn't have a cold case unit for them to have investigated it. So basically, any of the cold cases came down to the next person in line, more or less, and that happened to be Detective Mogg.
All right. And in terms of the Detective Mogg situation, are you telling us, though, that he was hired by Metro as an investigator doing cold cases?
No, he was a detective with Metro, employed as a commissioned officer. He wasn't hired by Metro separately to do cold cases.
And I apologize for that. Let me just back up here. So, are you aware of a retired officer by the name of Dean O'Kelly?
Yes, sir.
And he, at some point, worked on cold cases.
Yes, he did.
And he worked on cold cases after he retired.
Correct.
And prior to that, he was actually a homicide detective.
Yes, sir.
So, and I apologize, maybe I wasn't clear on my question, but are you telling us that that's what Detective Mogg did in this case, that after he retired, he became an investigator just like Dean O'Kelly on cold cases?
Detective Mogg did not do that with Metro.
And once again, as you're sitting here right now, you don't know of any officer's report up until the time he retires.
That's correct.
Are you aware of any other reports that he wrote after he retired in this case?
No, sir.
Are you, and once again, any reports at all that would be put in the file to help the next detective with the investigation, anything like that?
I'm not aware of them.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Anything further, Mr. DiGiacomo?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, any questions for this witness? Seeing no hands, thank you, Detective Gaddis. You're free to go.
Thank you.
Does it make sense to break for lunch at this time?
We have one short witness, but maybe we could do a restroom break and then break for lunch.
Does anyone in the jury have to use the restroom? Yes? Okay. All right. So we will take a break. During the recess, you're admonished not to talk or converse amongst yourselves or with anyone else on any subject connected to the trial, or read, watch, or listen to any recorded or commentary on the trial of any person connected with this case by any medium of information, including without limitation, newspaper, television, internet, and radio, or from which express any opinion on any subject connected with the trial until the case is submitted to you. We'll have you guys back here at 11:40. Please rise for the jury. For the record, the jury has exited the room. We'll be in recess.
Nothing better, I shouldn't have to say it. This here is nothing, just some everyday shit. When I hang up my jersey, I bet they display it. This level of skills, you'll never obtain it. They wonder how I sustain it. And vividly paint all these pictures I'm painting. Cause I was a little nigga on the blocks of the fifth. The coldest rapper, something I've been proclaiming. Are your favorite rapper terrible? These niggas sweeter than caramel. If one of these niggas ever say something that's even kinda clever, that'll be a miracle. Fuck being lit, I'd rather be lyrical. Most of these niggas fizz out in the years. I analyze the boy, that shit is scientifical. Niggas be mad, so I keep me a blick or two. Man of this rap game, I'll put hands on all these niggas. Used to try to be cool, now I get on beats and just maul these niggas. Used to be like them.
Given the totality of the circumstances,
clarity like I was Jigga. I've been calling y'all music cause you don't know why. Cause none of you niggas deliver Tory Lane, shoot them in the foot, make them tap dance. Catch a girl up early in the morning like the Gap Band. I just ain't lights, camera, action. I see the East Ball, this Pac-Man. I break it down like a fraction. Nobody better walk part of this, all you not grasping. I always come with that and hit you upside your head. Hope you got an aspirin. These rappers really did some skills, trying to figure me out like I'm a riddle. I was keep on making riddles, bitch, I'm hot, make it sizzle. Yeah, bitch, I'm a dog, I might eat it, bitch, cable. You should trying to be civil, but that don't mean I was hurt a nigga to a cripple. Got open off the dribble, now I'm going for a triple. Niggas knew it was an N1. When I heard the whistle, got a chick, even with him in the hand, like she gon' whittle.
It ain't nothing better than count my until I gotta get it, hold on, Beretta. You see what it do, look what happened to you. Bugger Eli dead, look up at the street lights. I'm a fiend in the street life, dead eradicating their enemies. Those is on killing their enemies, fun calculating in the bay. We at war, so I'm patrolling the tank. Rolling that stank from the dispensary, fuck what you think. I'm laughing from the bank. SOKE pulling that rank. You can catch me with your girl at the rank. Looking at her head while she show me she think. New I'm full of potential, give me that dental. Don't get mad when I pull up in a rental. Hardcore, ready to jump and land and stick on a dismount parkour. Let's play big, blowing your brain from the skull. Same city as the Bulls. Don't follow game by the rules. Scramble back, course, travel up course. Judge holding court. Sent to security, give me assistant mission for your position. Need no permission, system hacking. I'm balling and you can't ball, so you hacking. My antivirus program says Mac. Time to go ham and I'm tracking. Deleting the spam and I'm hacking. Rhymes to the ram and I'm backing. Down to more time and I'm racking. It's the TNT me that explode. Playing the assist on lows. So stay tuned to the next episode. Taking the green down the road, I will roll over. So don't give me my mode. Going around the city saying, bitch, I'm a pro. CHICAGO. PIMP grow. SOKE go.
circumstances, I'm not sure why there's any controversy on this one. Hi everyone, welcome to today's research-informed badge cam lesson here at Active Self-Protection. I'm your host, John Correa. You may notice that Mike is not here today. He gets this week off, and he asked me if I would say something nice about him on video. And you know, I'm a man of God, and I was a pastor for 14 years. I have a master's of divinity in biblical communication, and for the life of me, I can't find a nice thing to say. So you say something nice about him in the comments, would you? Download the ASP Unlimited app for all the content you love from Active Self-Protection and more with no interference from YouTube. No ads, no age gates, exclusive videos, seminars, classes, and more on iOS, Android, Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, and Android TV. Hit the link in the description or download ASP Unlimited from your app store today. Please go read the news stories, and you can watch the original on this one. It's quite a bit longer because I've sped this up for the sake of time. You see somebody recording here, and they're recording this guy who has come and robbed this donut shop, like gone behind the counter and got stuff that he shouldn't have. And then they had called it in initially as an unarmed robbery. And then you can see here, he has a knife in his hand, and he had actually used that. The reason the guy started recording is because this guy then went and attacked a man with that knife and stabbed him like 12 times. That's not a joke. So you can see him walking around for quite some time. Again, I have quadrupled the speed here simply for the sake of time as he wanders around this parking lot. Now, eventually, officers are going to get there. I am going to show you here that they do show the man who is hurt just briefly on screen here. And when they do, it's pretty serious. Then from there, we have audio from the officers' badge cams. Let's listen in.
31, he's running right towards me in the middle of the road on Abbott. Get on the ground! On the ground right now! On the fucking ground! Towards me in the middle of the road on Abbott. Get on the fucking ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Don't move! Don't move! Don't move! Show your hands! Don't move! Don't move! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Hey, I'm going less lethal! I'm going less lethal! Watch crossfire. Hey, come over here. Come over here. Come over here. Come over here. All right. Get down on the ground. Show me your fucking hands. Show me your hands. Drop the knife. 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 I love y'all. Watch the crossfire, watch the crossfire. Come around the back. Get on the ground! On the ground right now! On the fucking ground! On the ground! Don't move! Don't move! Don't move! 31 shots fired! 31 shots! Put the knife! Don't move! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Drop the knife! Drop the fucking knife! Drop the fucking knife! Drop the fucking knife! Show me your fucking hands! Show me your hands! Show me! Drop the knife! Drop the knife! Shot fired! Shot fired! Drop the knife! Drop the knife! Watch the crossfire! Watch the crossfire!
They did eventually get the shield to go and get the knife out of this man's hand. They rendered aid to him, but he did not make it. He perished at the scene. There is also, they do show on the original, you can go watch it, I've linked it in the description, that they show significant first aid being done to the man who was injured, the victim here. And listen, if you're watching this on YouTube, we have to blur it. They just will not put up with it. It'll get an age gate for sure on YouTube if we don't. And that means it'll just kill any distribution for it. So if you want to see the whole thing, watch it in the ASP Unlimited app because we will have the lessons in there. We'll have them here as well on YouTube. But I gotta blur this one, guys, because of the graphic nature of it. It's just as simple as that. It's pretty serious. But they do get that man to the hospital. The news story says he is recovering. He was stabbed in the head and neck and also in the leg. And what you're gonna see here again through the blur if you're on YouTube, is that they're going to get a tourniquet on his left leg because he has some pretty significant bleeding out of the lower part of his left leg. They call those defensive wounds. He was trying to kick the guy off of him and he got stabbed for it. Thankfully, he is going to make it through his injuries and is expected to recover fully. The perp, not so much. Like I say, he took the asphalt temperature challenge and his mom was mad about it. I'm only kidding. Mike is literally my longest friend. I met Mike in, I think, late 2000 is when Mike and I finally got to know each other, and he has been a good best friend to me ever since. And he's just taking the week off because he hurt his back, okay? So let's think about lessons. Now, I do think here there's a good lesson for all of us private citizens about protecting yourself, right? You know, that adage says when seconds count, police are minutes away. And I think it absolutely applies here because, again, this man is wandering around with a knife, having just attacked somebody 12 times and robbed a donut shop. And nobody is doing anything about it because they just don't have the capabilities. So carry your firearm everywhere you go, know how to use it, train with it, practice with it. Don't just practice though, go train as well. Get under instruction so you're good with it, so that you can protect yourself if you're this victim, or if you feel like, you know, if you feel like you're going to step in there to a victim and help a victim, then you can be a third person defender as well. And again, protecting a third party is a moral good as well. You know, it's not a moral obligation, but it is a moral good. Now, the officers, again, I think they just had very little time to respond. So our first officer gets out here, and this dude is running right up on him. Now, here is a half second before our officer fired his first shot. And what you can see, just out the right side, you can see the foot of the of one of his fellow officers. He's only, 10, 12 feet away and running towards him with a knife in his hand. Is this justified to shoot this man? Absolutely. Especially given, you know, the dispatch there was he is an armed robber who has just stabbed a man 12 times and now he is running, you know, full tilt boogie at your fellow officers. Yes, you need to shoot this guy. It's not just that it's okay or you can shoot him. No, it's a you must. Otherwise, he is going to stab your partner. So down the guy goes, but he's still got the knife in his hand. And of course, we got to talk about, you know, the follow-up shots from there because Mom is mad about the second and third volleys. But this guy is attempting to get up. He looks like he turned the knife on himself for a minute. And I do like here that our first officer goes to his less lethal. He sees the guys on the ground. Okay, fine. I think maybe I have an opportunity. I got other officers who are on lethal cover. Maybe I can use the taser to get this guy into custody without having to shoot him more. And I think that's a good thing when you have the appropriate boundaries in place, when you have less, you know, less lethal is good when you have lethal cover, when you have space and time to deploy it. I think he had all three of those here. So I think that is a good choice. But of course, the guy's climbing towards, or you know, going towards the other. Back out when he does see that, and then again goes on from there. Now our second officer, you see him here. He has the less lethal in his hand. He has that 40 millimeter less lethal projectile launcher in his hand when he gets out, and then that guy is right on top of him. So with his support, or strong hand rather, not support, but with his dominant hand, he gets his gun out and has to get shots on that guy. This is one of those cases where I think actually it'd have been hard for him to drop that thing fast enough and get his gun in the fight. So practicing your dominant hand only shooting for officers and private citizens alike, I think is smart. Of course, we'd prefer to put two hands on the gun, but given the fact that he had this other thing, this less lethal launcher in his hand, might need to get a couple of shots off very quickly, though he does get two hands on the gun pretty quick. Now here, I want to stop just a second and talk about this is a training scar here. This is bad juju, okay? He's just fired several rounds and he still has probably 13 to 15 rounds in that gun. There's no reason for him to be doing a proactive reload or a tactical reload or a retention reload here at all. Remember, if your gun is half full and you have a lull in the fight, then you want to maybe get your gun reloaded. But that's not happening here, okay? You're still in the midst of the fight. Fight with what's in the gun unless it's empty until you have an actual lull in the fight. I think this was too early. I also don't like reloads with retention. They never get used. Those that magazine that's partially depleted never gets used. Just let it drop to the ground, put a new one in the gun when you get to that place of needing a reload from a partially filled magazine. Put it in the gun like it owes you money, right? Like slap it like it called your mama a dirty name, and then go back to work. Okay, retention reloads really not very useful in a modern context with high capacity, standard capacity magazines. Now, why did our officer here fire rounds at this guy? And I'm going to say, that he sees that there are officers at the back here, and this guy is gaining his feet again, and this officer sees him trying to get up with a knife in his hand after already being shot and told multiple times to drop the knife. And what I saw there, what I think an officer could reasonably see there, is a man attempting to regain his feet, therefore his mobility, and become a deadly threat to those officers. And so this is how somebody justifiably gets shot in the back. And remember, it's not about where you shoot somebody, it's about why. And yes, there is that perception in the public, and we're working to change that. But, you know, well, you can't shoot somebody in the back, that's never justified. Totally untrue. It can be 100% justified. It's not always justified for sure, but it can be. And I think in this case it is. Again, he's trying to get back to his feet to continue his assaultive behavior and advance on the officers with a knife. So I don't have any problems with these shots. And you know, the third volley, you might go, okay, we'll look at those in just a second. But here, I don't have a problem with it. Just, again, don't miss. You don't want to skip bullets up off the ground and into a fellow officer. Now, our third officer here does a good job of dipping his muzzle. Now, the guy is coming at him here. And again, the question is a reasonable perception of the officer. Remember, the badge cam isn't his perception. It's a close to where he is looking perception. But you see the guy getting up and attempting to regain his feet. And how close does it have to be? Does a guy have to be actually stabbing you? No, he doesn't. And, you know, Oliver Wendell Holmes, in a famous Brown versus U.S., it's just over 100 years old now, said we cannot expect cool reflection at the point of an upturned knife. And so we don't expect officers or private citizens to make perfect decisions, just reasonable ones. Is it within the realm of reason that this officer would perceive that this man is regaining his feet and continuing his aggravated assault to threaten the life of officers? I can't say no to that. I think the answer to that is yes. So therefore, okay, if he felt like the guy needed to get shot, given the totality that he has just stabbed a man 12 times and robbed a store too, don't forget about that. And that went out on the radio so they know who they're dealing with. I don't have a big problem with it, okay? And I get it. You know, this guy's mama is mad because she, you know, loves her son. Okay, let's talk about the first aid here. First of all, I again, on YouTube, we got to blur it. You got to not get the icks at blood, all right? You got to get used to it. It's one of the reasons I love the app, because we can actually show this. And I get it. You go, oh boy, that's a lot of blood. Yes, and you want to be able to see that and go, I'm okay emotionally, and my job here is to get this guy some help. I love the citizen who has stepped in here and is holding this guy's head together. A head wound can really bleed, and he's got a cut behind his ear that is really bleeding. I love that the officer gets out his shears and starts cutting the guy's clothes off to see where are the holes and what do we want to do. Having some shears in your first aid kit, really, really important, really, really useful. So then that way we can see, here is where the holes are, here's what we need to do. Now, he has an interesting tourniquet here. That is a SAM XT, okay, which is a committee-approved tourniquet. It's a perfectly good tourniquet. It's a rare one, though. It's not one that we see very often. Almost always they're cats or soft tees. You know, we really like the snake staff tourniquet. I think it's a really good one, too. This SAM XT is perfectly fine. It's just not one that we see all the time. And remember, when do you want to put a tourniquet on? When you see a bout of blood that makes you go, ew, when you go, oh boy, that's a lot of blood, on an extremity wound, then that's a good place for a tourniquet. As a general rule, in an emergency situation, high and tight is probably the easiest. But that said, you can apply it 2 to 3 inches above the wound if you know where the wound is too. So he can apply that. And in the old school world, they would say don't apply it on the lower part of the extremity because 2 bones and it's harder to get occlusion. That's a little old school. They don't teach that anymore. It's perfectly fine as long as you've got that 2 to 3 inches above, because if you got a severed artery in there, it can retreat up inside the body a couple of inches, and you don't want to put the tourniquet on below that, and then you don't get the occlusion that you want. So you got to get that tourniquet on there quickly, get it really tight, really tight. It should be annoying and really painful already before you start the windlass. Then you got to get the windlass on. And remember, the committee hasn't met in forever. You want a tourniquet that meets all of the requirements that the Committee of Tactical Combat Casualty Care has for tourniquets. You're not going to be out in the world for hours and hours. You're going to get them to the hospital very, very quickly. I'm super glad this officer had his tourniquet. And I'm super glad that he had his gloves and his shears, hopefully some gauze, some hemostatics, and then they get this guy to the hospital where he's expected to make a full recovery. Medical care, very, very important stuff. I think this use of force is clearly justified conduct, and these officers covered their ass.
Brunch tomorrow?
Pass.
Farmer's market?
Nope. 2-minute warning.
Bird watching?
Absolutely not. This is for everything. Plans for Sunday on the line here, Joe. Oh, Ticketmaster. Show me some tickets.
50-yard line.
Yes. He caught a great audible there, Joe.
Get last-minute tickets from Ticketmaster. It's good.
At Grainger, we have over 1 million products, including the ones that help keep your workplace safe and sound. Shop our vast inventory of safety products at Grainger.com.
Cartridges used in this particular cartridge cases collected in this case match any other cartridge cases that were entered into NIBIN back in 2003.
They did not.
Did they match any other firearm that was recovered by 2003?
They did not.
Now, in 2023, were you asked to re-enter these cartridge cases or re-examine them within the NIBIN system?
Yes, I was.
And that request, I think, was made by Mark DeGiacomo.
Yes, it was.
And had technology changed between 2003 and 2023?
Yes, so that 20-year period, yes, the cameras and the resolution has definitely improved over the 20-year time frame.
And is it also fair to say that probably in the intervening 20 years, more cartridge cases and more firearms have been entered into the NIBIN system?
Yes, it's the gold standard of that type of ballistics. So everybody uses it now, and yes, there's millions of images in the database.
And did you actually conduct that? Did you actually look into NIBIN to see whether or not this cartridge case matched any other cartridge case that was entered into NIBIN?
Yes, I entered it into NIBIN myself, and we did a nationwide search, and it looked throughout the entire country, and then the NIBIN results had no associations other to the original entry from 2003.
So what you learned from NIBIN is when you entered the cartridge in 2003, it matched the cartridge you entered in 2023.
That's correct.
But nationwide, it did not match any other cartridge case that had been previously entered into NIBIN.
No, it did not.
Any, sorry, cross-examination, Mr. Smith?
Sure, did you actually look at the actual cartridge casings themselves?
Yes, I looked all 7 side by side, and I screened them and then grouped them into one grouping, which represents one firearm.
All right. And as far as you recall or understand, that the cartridge casings were located at one scene, not multiple scenes.
I didn't look into the case notes. That's to try to keep our distance. We don't do any investigative work at the lab, so we don't want to bias our mind to what was. So I did not review any of the crime scene photos, any of the diagrams. I do not know. All I know is I have 7 cartridge cases. How do they group, and which ones they enter?
Okay. And so out of the 7, all of them look like they were fired from the same firearm.
Yes, they had similar visual characteristics, and I entered one, which I assigned as lab item 1.
I see. So no one of them was different, like indicating maybe another gun was used. All of them were from the same gun.
That's correct.
No further questions. Thank you.
Anything further, State?
No.
Any questions from our jurors? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Hatton. You're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Excuse me. That was our short witness before the lunch break?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sounds good. So at this time, we are going to take our lunch break. During this recess, you are admonished not to talk or converse amongst yourselves or with anyone else on any subject connected to the trial, or read, watch, or listen to any report of a commentary on the trial of any person connected with this case by any medium of information, including without limitation, newspaper, television, internet, and radio, or form or express any opinion on any subject connected with the trial until the case is submitted to you. We'll have you guys back here at 1 p.m. for further testimony. Please rise for the jury. Record, the jury has exited the room. Anything we need to address outside the presence?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor. So we're going to have
Robert Ladd testify at whenever we come back out.
Okay, you can all be seated.
And there was this outstanding issue during our gang motion about the term shock collar. Now, in the interim, we found that Mr. Davis refers to himself as the shock collar in the book. I don't know that was pointed out. I had not realized that at the time of that motion, so I certainly failed to point that out. But at this point, the state's going to be asking that we allow Mr. Ladd to use that term. When I pre-trialed him last night, I told him he is not allowed to use it unless the court gives a go-ahead, so he's aware of that prohibition. But I
Was
think
the idea that he was going to be the one to lay the foundation, that he was the shot caller, that
Yes.
allegedly PPD
Yes.
was the shot caller.
Yes.
So he can use that term and